Bod?
There is, and
Okay,
I'm
that's what
gonna
I'm working on.
launch us live onto the YouTube, and then just remind you your nostrils have that certain Savoy flair.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Okay, well, that's great. You know what, Chuck? Why don't you introduce the first act? I'll just sign off now and then sign back on. This would be a great time for you to do all your puns.
Right.
Everybody knows. Yeah, the
Perfect.
thing you want to do is do a lot of wordplay with people who come from countries that are better at the language than we are here in the States. That always works. They love that when you try to show how literate you are from the colonies.
Here's what we did with the language you gave us.
Yeah, gave us, forced out our fucking throat.
Oh,
Am I right, Irish? Huh? Am I? Right. At any rate, I'm
we have our own feelings about the English language.
I know you do. I know you do. I've read some of the history. The funny thing is, it's your second language, and you're better at it than the English. That's what I like. That's what I like about it. Well, this is a portrait of the comic as an old man getting off and then getting back on. So, Chuck, why don't you take over the show for a minute?
Speaking of getting off and forced down your throat,
You just can't stop yourself, can you?
I mean, you bounce the ball, I'll hit the layup.
Put that fortune cookie down, please. Put that.
Gang, we have a surprise change in hosts at the beginning of the show, and then Mike Langworthy will be back with his general affable self. For tonight, we have just a wonderful treat. These comedians are from right up the road, and so glad to have them here. So we're going to start with a happy young fellow who apparently is, I hope you're having coffee at this hour, or potentially you could be drinking, and I'd be more proud of you.
He's Irish.
Welcome John O'Keefe, ladies and gentlemen. John O'Keefe.
Hey.
Are we started? Is this all started?
Yes, sir.
Wow, you guys don't mess around, huh? Jesus, love it. So I'm Irish. I used to live alone, and I would feed stray cats that came to my window, which I think is the test for male loneliness. I'm not sure. I think it's actually the test. It's the metric. I also lived in a studio apartment. I don't know. We call them bed sits. Although I think a better name could be called bed slits for how you feel when you live in one. Most studios are sad, you know. Do you guys know what you guys have? Studio apartments, that's what you call them?
Yes.
So studio apartments, doesn't it sound great? It sounds like cocaine parties and art-drenched walls and paintings and a rustic attic feel, while you make copious amounts of love to some beautiful codependent artisanal nine. Isn't that what it sounds like somehow? But it's not really what it's like at all. It's more like, you know, I think it's more like the representation. A studio apartment's like the representation of a divorced man coming to terms with his wife's infidelity. You know? That's what I think. I could be wrong. It's just all the yellow piss walls. Very upsetting. But I don't live there anymore. But when I lived there, I had a bathroom outside. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, I had a bathroom separate to my house. Like, I've never heard of that in human society. Like, we have squatters' rights, but apparently not shitters' needs. Since when is a bathroom optional? I mean, the only good thing was if I ran out of toilet paper, I could at least grab a stray cat as they passed. So, you know, what are you going to do? I'm trying to be a better person. I suppose we all are. For New Year's, I tried a New Year's resolution. This one is particularly bad. I tried saying affirmations to myself. You guys know affirmations, right?
Yeah.
Where you lie to yourself and nothing changes.
Yes.
Oh God, they're so awful. But I was doing this and I was going, I am, and I was going, I am strong. But then my other brain kicked in and was like, well, not when you get dumped. And I was like, Not that guy was here. He makes some good points, but don't listen to him, John. I am enough. You're enough of a clown if you think this will work. And I'm like, fuck. I am confident. That's why you're talking to yourself in secret. Just eat a burger, finish yourself off, and go to bed. That's the spirit.
Funny how our countries are so much alike.
Day two, I gave up. But by day 2 of my New Year's resolution, on January 2nd, I was already like, Jesus, the year is flying past. That's kind of how that's an honest thought I had. Very sad. What else can I tell you? Oh, I got my Google timeline recently. Do you guys know a Google timeline?
Yeah.
So I only found out about this recently, but that's where Google helpfully emails you all the places you've been, which isn't great for those lonely or having an affair, but everyone else, I guess, I suppose it's good. But I got mine anyway, which I thought was entertaining. It said, cities visited 1, places visited 1, highlight Aldi. And I was like, it was actually entertaining to see a chart of my own suffering. I hadn't really noticed that since I saw, my family tree as a child. Very sad. Most of them are dead. But I couldn't get over it. I was like, how dare Google track me with my consent? Like, disgusting behavior. Like, you think they'd put that in those terms and conditions I've never read. Google are the worst. I'm gonna have to change search engine, guys. I think I'm gonna have to change to like Bing or DuckDuckGo or anything as long as it sounds like it was named by a homeschool child. Who signed off on DuckDuckGo and how much ketamine were they on at the time? I mean, could you imagine that meeting? Like, we need a memorable name. How about DuckDuckGo? Yeah, memorable, not fucking stupid. Like DuckDuckGo sounds like instructions to run away from a school shooter. I don't know if that's okay. I know you guys are American. I thought of that just a second ago, so I thought it was clever. I should finish up soon. Let me think. I'll just do some one-liners. I have one-liners somewhere. Let me think of my one-liners. Oh yeah, I don't really do one-liners, but they're a bit of fun. My new girlfriend is a lot like my old girlfriend. She's married. Speaking of my girlfriend, what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, you know the way they say honesty is the best policy. Honesty is the best policy, but you try saying that to a fat, ugly child. I know. I can't think of any more. I'm sure I wrote more one-liners, but that's all I can think of, and that's about my time. So listen, thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Hey, John.
That was excellent. My parents didn't have any trouble at all saying shit like that to a fat, ugly child. What I'm trying to say is we may be related. Actually, we're not only are we not related, but I am the poster child for your oppressor as well. Poster child for oppression in the United States by being a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant male. And my family comes from England on both sides.
Nice.
Admittedly, we bailed in 1638, but still poster child for the oppressor. Nevertheless,
I read the 1638 project. It's an amazing story. I read the 1638 project. It's an amazing story.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that because a show needs to come to a halt from time to time before we.
That's why I'm here.
And I appreciate you.
Don't want to build any
John,
momentum.
weren't you on this show before one time?
I've
seen you somewhere, man.
Maybe a different show. I'm pretty sure if I was on this.
You're on Backline, weren't you?
Yes, once I was.
Yeah.
Maybe that was it.
Whatever.
I do a lot of these.
Yeah, no, because we all do. Because you know why? We have lives. I'm kidding. We don't. Of course, we don't have.
What a kidder.
Anyway, our next performer comes to us from Wales, near Cardiff. Not that Wales is near Cardiff. He comes from near Cardiff in Wales. I do know that much about the British Isles. Please welcome, if you will, Richard Johnson. Richard Johnson.
Yay. Whoa. Is it?
Oh, really?
I know what you're thinking. Jesus, Spider-Man sounds so good, isn't he? Spider-Man, as whatever spider. I should probably reveal to everyone here that I am in fact balding. So nowadays I look like Wales is on to Dr. Evil nowadays. Don't believe me? I even have a mini-me to prove it.
Hello.
Sorry.
I call him Beanie Me, I do, because he's got a beanie and yeah. Okay. Yeah. I really don't know what to joke about because I find that the best jokes are a bit like the Invisible Man having a wank. They just come out of nowhere. The mad thing is, like, you know, I found my first grey hair. Actually, I feel like it's my birthday was only a few weeks ago, and I feel like I found my first grey hair, and from white hair, it's been dropping off all over the place. And I've been considering lots of things. I considered a toupee or a wig. To be honest, I've looked around and I still can't find one that would fit my penis at all. I couldn't. So yeah. And on that note, I'm going to move straight on to. Actually, I remember, like, I've been thinking a lot about my family. Actually, I've been thinking about my family tree, and I remember asking my mum, "Yeah, Mum, what can you tell me about my forefathers?" And she said, "Well, when I met all four of them, I was knackered at the end of the night."
Oh.
And I mean, I'm married. I'm a married man, and it's the best relationship I've had, well, ever. I mean, before then, I remember once I was so drunk, I actually fell in love with a door once. Needless to say, we had an open relationship after that. And yeah, like John, I too have been trying to get on top of my New Year's resolutions this year, and I'm doing pretty good. I mean, some of mine consisted of things like DIY. I've been thinking about doing DIY, and I'm improving because, according to my wife, I've been getting better at screwing. And yeah, and also we were married actually last 2 Septembers ago, and we were married in the eyes of God. We were married in a castle. We were nearly going to marry at a church, but didn't quite work out. Remember, the priest said, "Remember, the Lord is here to save our soul." Okay, which assholes does he want to save first? But when I first met my wife, she said, you know, I can show you plenty of things around the bedroom. And so I can tell you now, after lots of going over and going under, after trying out different positions, and after all the ins and outs of it, only now have I finally found out how to change the bed sheets. So my doctors, I have an interesting relationship with my doctors because I was given a label when I was very young, but I seem to doubt my label. I seem to deny it because I know that deep down I am not 100% polyester. And yeah, and I've often been assessed with the label I've given. Like, often said things like, "Could you walk over a line? Could you walk on the line? Can you do a line?" All those stupid jokes, all stupid thing to test. Or best one, "Could you count from 1 to 4?" I can't. Can someone learn ability count from 1 to 4? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my God, I can count to 4. It's not wonderful, everyone. Oh, I just thought I'd end the night on a high note.
Richard Newman, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Richard Newman. Did I pronounce that correctly?
You pronounced that correctly, yeah.
Yes, because when I introduced you, I pronounced it incredibly incorrectly. My apologies. Okay. And I'm sure the guy who actually has that name thought he was supposed to go on, and I apologize for that.
Also, Rich Johnson as well, though. Great.
Yeah, well, you guys can compare notes afterwards and decide who deserves more applause. Anyway, I don't care. I don't care. All I do is screw things up. That's my thing. It's my
I'm
thing.
going to now, but thank you for tonight. Thank
Oh, it
you.
was my pleasure. I'm glad you were here, and I would have. Oh, John is still here too. You guys, not that you need my permission or anything, but it's 3 o'clock in the fucking morning. You may want to call it a night. Maybe there's another mic you're trying to get to.
The club should be opening just about now.
Yes.
Australia's starting
All right.
soon.
In the United States, you'd be headed to the Waffle House.
Thanks for making all that effort. Right.
All right.
Pleasure.
There to talk about your
I'll go as well. See you guys.
Yeah, went
All
to-
right.
God bless.
Thank
John,
you.
good seeing
See you,
you, bro.
Bruce.
Thank you
Take
guys
care,
for
pal.
coming in. I hope you come back
Thanks for having
soon.
us.
All right, so I want to bring our next act right on. And when I say right on, it's not cultural appropriation. I mean immediately. And he's been on several times and has performed on the other show that we do, that Chuck and I do, called Apocalypse. Funny guy, comes from DC. You guys are gonna love him. Chipp Jones. Chipp Jones.
Chip.
Hey. Oh yeah, give it up to Chuck and Mike. Especially Mike, who's mastering English names. I like that, and I think it was nice of him to tell the English guys they could leave now before my set. I appreciate that too. Usually the host lets me walk my own people. He doesn't walk them for me, but I appreciate the gesture.
I can give you 4 reasons why I did that. If you're interested.
I love the callback. Oh, what's going on with me? I just realized that I just have too much TV. I've got like 4,800 channels. I pay like $15,000 a month, and it's stupid because basically I watch 3 channels. I watch CNN. I watch this network called Heroes and Icons, and I watch the Weather Channel. I watch the Weather Channel because it's kind of like a soap opera, a telenovela. I mean, you can go away for days, and when you come back, you know exactly where you are. It's like nothing's really changed. But this H&I, Heroes and Icons, is a channel of old TV shows. I mean, mostly like detective shows and like a couple of Star Treks. And it's a weird channel because I think that every lead in all the shows is male. They don't have any female lead shows, which I can't believe they can get away with that in this day and age. I mean, but apparently they do. So and I've been watching it. I started to branch out a little though, when I was thinking about not getting the full use of my channels. And I've been thinking of my childhood, and I've been sort of back into Westerns. And, there's this channel called Grit, which does Westerns, which, makes sense, true grit. But there's also this channel called the Inspiration Channel that does a lot of Westerns, which I don't know how they decided that that's going to be their forte is Westerns for the Inspiration Channel. And it's not like they do like, I don't know, like the soft Westerns like Bonanza and stuff. I mean, they do a lot of, spaghetti Westerns with Clint Eastwood, Down and Dirty. But Bonanza should be on the H&I network when I think about it, because Bonanza is one of those channels that one of those shows that just didn't have any real female characters that stayed. I can remember as a kid, my friends and I used to make up lyrics to the theme songs of television shows that didn't have lyrics. And the ones I made up for Bonanza were like, why are there no women on Bonanza? Why are there no women on Bonanza? Little Joe, here comes Little Joe. Why are there no women on Bonanza? Because they all die. That's, Ben Cartwright put 3 women in the ground, and every time a woman came on and she became a love interest to one of his sons, you knew they were going to be dead by the end of the hour. They just murdered them right off. So I don't know. I don't know how you get away with that. You couldn't do that now on a show, not anymore. But I'm also trying to branch out and do a Comet Channel, doing some sci-fi, and sci-fi is always fraught with time travel, which is I don't know. It's kind of awkward for a black guy because, when we think of time travel, we think of always going forward. We're not really into going back in time, if you know what I mean. So time travel for us is a forward motion.
You're not into the nostalgia channel.
Not into the nostalgia, and that whole thing of, going back in time and killing baby Hitler. Yeah, as a father, I can't do that, but killing teenage Hitler, that's something altogether different. I could probably do that one. But yeah, we're moving forward when it comes to time travel. I also remember, because I can remember, when cable TV first came. Even before that, I remember old TV where you had to change the channel and the click, 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 and you had the UHF, which was like a big dial that just spun. It's like those old, World War II movies where the radio operator's trying to get in the signal and you're just rotating it slowly back and forth, trying to lock in on that signal, But now I got the Xfinity, I got the Xfinity where I can just scream what I want to watch, and I just scream into it. I want a Western with no women. Bonanza pops right up, It's like, so I think that's about my time. I'm Chip from DC, and I thank you for listening. And here is my social media if you want to get in touch with me, and I'll hand it back over to our host. Thank you for the time.
The channels you watch. I'm surprised your social media isn't the Pony Express. But anyway, great to see you, Chipp Jones. Let's one more round of applause from our small but incredibly enthusiastic group here. I appreciate it. And I want to keep the show rolling because that's one of the words in the Rawhide theme song. Rolling, rolling, rolling. And I wanted Chip to feel at home even after he got off stage. So our next performer, I don't believe we've met. Have we met, Richard?
We have not.
We have not met. Great. That is so good because when I see a name and a face and I don't recognize either of them, I feel as though I'm either getting very, very old or it's somebody I haven't met. And I'm trying to put off admitting that I'm very, very old as long as I can. But we don't need to talk about me right now because this is Richard's time. It's Richard's time, ladies and gentlemen. Please give it up for Richard Johnson.
Hey, everybody. Hey, what's up, everybody? So, yes, my real name is Richard Johnson. Obviously, it means Dick. Yes. So that's a real thing. My dad's name is Dick. My granddad's name is Dick. I come from a long line of dicks. Yes. It makes sense because my grandmother's name is Vagina and then my mom's name is Twat. So I'm obviously going to marry a girl that's a cunt. It's going to happen.
Logical extension.
I'm just joking, though. I love my girlfriend. I mean, we go together. We're like white on rice, yin and yang, Quentin Tarantino and the N-word, we go together. We go together. No. She does this thing, though, which is kind of funny. She likes to call me pet names. I don't know if anybody else here, you have pet names with your significant other. She likes to call me like sweetie or honey or sugar, which it's cute, but she knows I'm diabetic, so it's kind of fucked up. Why would you say that to me? I like to call her things that she'll never experience too, like, hey, good morning, equal pay. How are you doing? Hey, I love you. Walk alone at night. Hey, yes. I love you, Dave. But no, on the real though, like the one news that just got overlooked is like, did anybody forget that Papa John went to a 20-month rehab for saying the N-word? Like that got overlooked. Like, what did he do in rehab? Like, I didn't see any Papa Johns go up in the hood. I didn't see him be on a Tyler Perry movie. I didn't see, what did he have to do? I don't know. I didn't see him do anything. I'm just thinking, like, who else was in there also? Like, Michael Richards had to be in there. Morgan Whalen had to be in there. Kyle Larson had to be in there. Like, I'm just thinking, this
Donald Sterling.
Yes, Donald Sterling. Oh, Clippers. Exactly. Oh, that team is terrible too, by the way. But they're really but I'm just thinking, this dude has to control his urges. He needs something, like he needs a nicotine patch. He needs to control those urges. He can't have those, you know. He can't
You
have
spell that exactly.
No. Great news. I just moved out of my room. Yeah.
Hey.
Into my parents' basement. So that's the best news I've had.
Yeah.
Got your own place.
Exactly. Have my own flat above ground, below ground. They said the 20s are your prime of your life. I didn't really think I'd be stuck in my parents' house watching Amazon Prime, but hey, here you know. Yeah. You know what cheers me up is that I go to my grandparents and they have Alzheimer's, so they forget I'm a failure. So that's the best thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yes, but with all the Netflix that I've been watching and Amazon Prime there's this movie that I don't know if y'all have seen it. It's called Teeth.
No.
Has anybody heard of it?
No.
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Well, it's about a movie, and it's about a woman who has teeth in her vagina. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Whoa.
Boom, bomb for that one. And I was just thinking, like, you know, do you see an OBGYN or an orthodontist? Like, I've had so many.
The ad said, brace yourself. It's coming.
Exactly. I have more questions than answers. Like, is this hereditary? We need a prequel. This needs to be a series. We need a whole mini series. Exactly.
Also, can we just cuddle?
Exactly. Like, do you have to use floss like both times? Like, do you use floss both times?
Open wide.
Exactly.
Oh no.
Exactly. So when she's a kid, what do you say when she loses like a tooth here, but she loses a teeth there? Do they have a tooth fairy for both? I need to figure these out. I need to know these things.
Wow.
I'm joking, y'all. Thank you for having me. My name's Richard. I'm
Wow.
from Richard. Yes.
Yay.
Richard, bite your
right,
tongue,
Richard.
Johnson.
All right.
He thought
Wow.
more about that movie than the original writers.
That's right.
Probably gave it a lot more thought, too.
Oh,
All I can say is that was wonderful. Thanks for coming. Come often. Tell your friends. That was really fun. I come from a long line of dicks. Is that better or worse than coming from a line of long dicks? I would just like to know. It's curiosity is what it is. So anyway.
It was until he met that woman, and then that changed.
Okay, thanks again for. You got to put a break in the hilarity from time to time. Anyway, so here's the thing. Our next performer is a regular performer here. I learned something about him every time he comes on, and he makes me laugh every time he comes on as well. So I know you guys are going to like him. Clap a lot for Bruce Lipsky. Bruce.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Bruce,
Thank you. Richard, Mr. Johnson, you were talking about pizza. You know, in my town, a new Italian restaurant just opened up, and it's called Good Pizza. Yeah, Good Pizza. I'm no marketing genius, but couldn't they think of a better name? You know, maybe they should have called it Very Good Pizza or Excellent Pizza. But who's going to settle for just good pizza? Probably those people who like lousy lasagna or mediocre manicotti or crappy cannoli. But personally, I refuse to eat any food with low self-esteem. I was thinking about this. I used to work for a Fortune 500 company, and I used to do a lot of traveling. And I remember I got booked to go to North Carolina on an airline called Ransom Airlines. Yeah, Ransom Airlines. You know, I'm no marketing genius, but why do they call it Ransom Airlines?
You mentioned that.
I know. Why not Hijack Airlines or Hostage Airlines or paying small non-traceable bills airlines? I'd even settle for Good Airlines. And I was thinking, is this a joke? Is this part of my job review or some bad performance, or are they trying to let me go? And I said, is this plane going to Raleigh or Havana? And then I started buying into this whole fantasy of flying on Ransom Airlines. And I started to get many reservations about my reservations. So I went to the customer service desk, and it turns out that Ransom Air's official policy is not to negotiate. As I got to the gate agent, she says, "Sir, tickets and photo ID, please." And she said, "Oh, I see you purchased a round trip ticket here. You must be feeling very optimistic today." Then I handed her my license. She says, "No, not your real ID. What's your witness protection name?" I said, "Witness protection name? I don't have one." She says, "No worries. As part of the Ransom experience, at no extra cost, we'll provide one for you. So from this moment on, and for the duration of the flight, you'll be known as O.J. Simpson."
Ooh.
And then when they asked me to put my suitcase on one of those scales, then she asked if I was packing. Turns out I wasn't talking about my luggage. My mind just kept on working and working. I started every scenario. Should I be purchasing last-minute flight insurance? Do I actually have a return ticket? And how do you spell Nicaragua? And before boarding, they put a burlap sack over my head. Took me to an unmarked gate. And by the time I got to into the plane, this guy in fatigues with a broken nose and a huge scar on his cheek sat me down. He had a name tag that said number 1. And he said, "Don't move from this seat. For the next 8 hours, you'll be stuck here." And so I started to pass the time, and I grabbed the magazine. But all the magazines had all the letters cut out. And then the captain came on the loudspeaker. "Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Greetings from the cockpit. This is your captain speaking. My name is Fidel Costello. And welcome to a Ransom Air flight number 666.
Oh.
We'll hopefully be flying at 40,000 feet. And barring an unforeseeable coups, we'll be landing at Raleigh International
Oh no, he froze.
Airport in about 10 hours, or somewhere in the Florida Everglades." Oh, sorry, I froze. Okay. And assisting in the rear of the plane, we'll call this guy number 2. He's got the red beret and the eye patch. He'll be handing out drinks. In the event of emergency, he'll be handing out the cyanide as well. And most airlines give snacks. They gave out parachutes, a Swiss Army knife, and U.S. Embassy phone numbers. And all the seats were exit seats as long as you had your parachute on. And the in-flight entertainment was videos run by Bear Grylls on jungle survival. I'm not too keen on drinking my own piss and eating grubs, but it beats airline food. And good pizza. As we were preparing to land, I looked out the window. There was these F-29 bombers circling around us, and they escorted us in. And we landed surrounded by the military. And then the pilot came back on. He said, "You know, you have many choices when it comes to flying. But at Ransom Airlines, we truly appreciate your business and hope the next time you fly to Raleigh, we'll still be in business. And we truly hope you'll enjoy your time spent in Nicaragua." Thank you. My name is Bruce Lipsky. Thank you for listening.
Hey.
Bruce. The harrowing details of Bruce Lipsky's life. God, that's like 5 new minutes since last week.
All true stuff.
Jeff Burden, remember that question you asked last week after the show was over? You look at it, and you look at it for a different angle, and a different angle, a different angle, a different angle, and you just go joke after joke after joke after joke, and all of a sudden you got 5 new minutes. Anyway,
Mike,
nobody cares. I decided to do it now, Ned, because you could cut the tension with a knife in this room.
I just had one question.
Yeah, what was that?
I hope you know I care.
Yeah, I know I care better than most people. Oh,
Okay.
You mean you
no.
care? Okay, I'm sorry.
No.
I thought you meant I have an ophthalmologist. Anyway, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because the tension in here you can cut with a knife with people who are just waiting with bated breath like the cat who ate the cheese and sat outside a mouse hole.
Oh.
From Ned Rice, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
Ned
my God.
Rice, come on, man.
Right, Ned.
Mike, what I wanted to ask you is, what are these jokes you speak of? I'm not familiar with that term. What is that a thing?
Yeah. You got to listen to the other comics, Ned.
We'll talk. Like that'll happen. I confess I'm a little nervous right now because there are actually more people watching me right now than watched the Oscars last night. So I feel like a lot of pressure.
Hello.
What happened? Did an NBA game break out in the middle of the Oscars? Like, what happened to the viewers? It's amazing. They're all gone. Nobody watched. But good luck to them with that. I saw the news today. The Supreme Court is going to try to decide whether it's going to be legal for people to defend themselves with their guns outside of their homes in the Second Amendment. And I can't, I'm very anxious to find out because I'm so anti-gun. I hate guns so much. I don't even have a salad shooter. I'm so anti-gun. I'm actually triggered by the word trigger. Oh, I just triggered myself. Oh, I just triggered myself again. Oh, shit. Okay, gun, pulley, finger thing. That's what I have to call it now. I can't even say that word. That's how I feel about guns. So I was at a t-shirt shop today. You know, have you ever seen one of those t-shirts that says, "This is what awesome looks like"? Has anyone ever seen one? They used to be so popular.
I have.
That shirt should not be available in 5XL. That defeats the whole purpose of what is the message. I think the very profound message on the front is ruined by the overwhelming size of that garment. Okay, let's take 5 here. I had the most interesting afternoon. I was on my way to a thing to a meeting, and I was chatting with this dude, and I could tell he had a really interesting technical background, but he wasn't a jerk about it. He was easy to talk to. He was telling me he has this new invention that's going to not only revolutionize telecommunications, but it's going to make it cheaper, faster, and accessible to many more people. He's in he's lining up investors now, but this idea of his is just incredible. I was so impressed. I gave him 5 stars. It was the most interesting Uber ride I've ever had. And this thing is going places. So that was part of my interesting day. I also have spent some time with my mom. She's delightful. My mom is 94, very active, very very sharp, loves life. My mom's secret is she's young at heart. That's her secret. Sometimes I think she's a little bit too young at heart. I found out today my mom is a cutter. And I said, like, "Mom, come on, what is that cut on?" She's like, "What?" I go, "Right there next to your Zeppelin tat. What is it? You cutting yourself?" Like, it's the only time I feel in control. I said, "Mom, if all your friends were cut," and then I realized all her friends are dead. So that fell on, you might say, deaf ears. But good old mom. You know, it's funny, we reach certain milestones in life, certain passes away. Like for me, this set is the end of my showbiz career. With my mother, she's getting shorter. Like a lot of people, your spine kind of contracts. They get shorter and smaller over there. My mom has got, I'm going to say, an inch, maybe an inch and a half left. And then she'll be too short to go on roller coasters. So we're trying to make the most of the time we have left on that score. And it's honestly, it's a privilege. It truly is. I got a new job today. I'm very excited. I'm starting my new job tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going back to teaching. Yeah, the course is called English for Internet Scammers, and it's there's not much grammar. It's mostly math and making up stories about Nigeria. So I'm excited for that. That's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm trying this new search engine, which is fantastic. Today I typed in women, and it came back, "Don't get me started." So I think me and my new search engine are going to make some beautiful music together. I'm just kind of having a everything must go sale. I'm cleaning out the files today, as you can see. I spent yesterday in court. I'm trying to take out a restraining order against Alexa, rather. That bitch is trying to ruin my life, and I've had it. I don't need her shit. She's eavesdropping on me. She's reading my emails. I got something from her the other day. It was here's a porn site you might like. It's called "That's Okay, Sir, We Can Just Cuddle." How did Alexa know that? Like, that's none of her business. That's so intrusive. I'm going to use the word intrusive. Wow, this is just awful. I found out years ago that I can't have children. Not for any medical reason. I just don't know how to use a juice box. And if you can't get one of those juice boxes to work, you're wasting your time. I think Mike will back me up on that. Oh my gosh, look at the time. That's all the time I have left. Thank you for listening. And it's been fun being in showbiz. Goodbye now. Goodbye forever.
Ned. Yeah, Ned, you did a great job. Why be held to those constraints that everybody else is? Huh?
I slipped the surly bonds of conventional time.
Absolutely. You should go back in time to when your relationship is age appropriate.
That far.
Yeah, that far. We're talking decades now. Unless she goes back in time with you, in which case it gets even worse.
That gets even weirder.
Yeah, that would be weirder. So, we don't often get a guy who's a card-carrying member of NAMBLA to perform on the show. Oh, we don't have one this. I'm not talking about our next.
You mean one of these? Wow. I'm using props now. That's so encouraging.
But it was just for an art. You got your card as part of an article you were writing for Esquire magazine.
I was doing some research. That's all it was.
Yeah, that's all it was. You
first hand, you might say.
You and Pete Townsend. Anyway, for now, it's time to move on to the next person. And I don't often use the word NAMBLA anywhere near the time that I introduced Nat. Sometimes it just goes horribly awry, as it did this time. And now I'm creating an entire false impression of our next performer. And I'd feel bad about it if I had a soul, but I don't. So please welcome a regular here on the open mic, a good guy, very funny. Please welcome Jeffery Burden II.
All right, Jeffrey.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Thank you, Mike and Chuck. Very fun time. A lot of people don't know this about me. After graduating from Air Force basic training, I attended technical training and I washed out. Wash out doesn't mean I was in the shower going, you know what, fuck this place, I'm going home, it sucks. It means flunked out. It means flunked out. So I get back home, I take some time off, and then I revisit the recruiting station and they say, yeah, you flunked out, but you're not too dumb. How about you be a cook? That sounds wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, we'll do that. I basic training was intense, very intense. Like they would ask me, they would ask you, are you a killer? Yeah, I'm a killer. Yeah. Squashed a couple of bugs. I eat meat, sometimes I think I want to kill people, honestly. Like I'm going to Chicago one day. I'm in Toledo. I head to Chicago for an audition, and I'm like, the traffic is stopped, but the oncoming traffic's going, and I'm like, are you kidding me? If that guy weren't dead, it was a funeral procession. If that guy weren't dead, I would kill him. I derailed, but I'm going to come back to it, everybody. But in basic training, there are, before you can be directed to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, there are 4 tests You have to pass. 1, the written
What are
test. The written test. I'm glad you asked, sir. At least somebody's interested in what the hell I'm saying. The written test. The physical training test. Firearms. And ironing of clothing.
What?
The ironing of clothing. Yes, sir, you heard me correctly.
There's a new wrinkle.
Because you want to like the way you look, okay? All right.
Yeah, sure.
They're not just training defenders of the Constitution, Mike. They are training dry cleaners, all right? It's very important. Very important. I knew I didn't want to be. I get asked a lot. Were you? Did you fly? Yeah, I flew to the airport and took a bus to the base. So there was that. You know, I mean, I get sick when I ride the teacups at Walt Disney World. Piloting was out. I just picture piloting, like, and I was an officer candidate at one time. I just picture pilot training. Lieutenant Burden, that's not the target. No, that was my lunch. I'm sorry, I'm out. I can't. No. Well, we're going to work on that set. Thank you for your honesty. I'm going to come back to that, everybody, and I think I've got a minute. Is that accurate, sir?
That is exactly accurate. Yeah.
Thank you so much. My wonderful wife is taking care of sugar gliders. They kind of look like hamsters with wings, right? And yeah, they're great flyers, incidentally. So yeah. My wife couldn't have a husband that wasn't a great pilot. She had to have a flyer in the family somehow. So she's got flying animals. Anyways, blah blah blah. Evidently, there are 2 sugar gliders. One of the sugar gliders is hogging that wheel that hamsters ride on. It just round, round, round. And she says, I should get a second wheel. I should really get a second wheel. One of the sissy is being a bully. Oh, maybe I should also get a treadmill.
For who?
For both of them. So I said, honey, why not a Planet Fitness membership for both of them? No gym intimidation. All right, we're working on that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to me. My name is Jeffery Burden II. Have a good evening.
Oh, Jeffrey.
Yay.
It's funny. The amazing thing is that you pass the firearms test for the military and then they boot you out for some what? Because you didn't pass in radio school? I think that's pretty much says all you need to know about the military, and all you need to know about guns.
I can iron my underwear like it's nobody's business.
Nobody's business. Yeah, you gotta, in order to have a chance to learn how to be a radio technician, you got to be able to iron your. You don't have to iron your underwear. That's not part.
I am so
Mike, that's
serious,
none of your business.
Sir. I am
That's
so
none of your
serious.
business.
Yeah, but I'm curious.
I'm very serious.
I'm underpants curious. I've always been underpants curious.
Hey, don't ask, don't tell.
Keep it brief, Mike.
Oh, thank you. The thong remains the same.
What?
What?
Oh.
Who said that? That sounded like Chuck Roy. Hey, we've got guys that come in here from time to time who really blow us away, and I want to be so mean.
I know.
I know you.
I don't know why I do that.
You do.
Why do I do that? Why do I do? These people just come here to try and work out their comedy, and I try to work on my problems with my parents.
You could almost reach out and touch it.
Because if they can do it in front of you, Mike, they can do it in front of anyone. That's what it
Yes,
is.
that's good to know.
You're building them bigger and better.
That's true. That's true. It is sort of a baptism of fire. But that's neither here nor there. I'm gonna scrap that entire introduction. Just starting with this guy, Christopher Anthony. He's been here. He gets closer and closer to being on time every week, and I think that speaks volumes. So please welcome, if you will, Christopher Anthony.
Woo!
There he is. There's Christopher.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Very well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Ned,
So
why
I-
didn't you ask that? We could have solved the whole problem of your set. Anyway, never
I
mind.
think
Go
the
ahead.
problem was
Go
we
ahead. I'm
didn't
sorry,
get-
Chris. This is your time. I
This is
apologize.
about Chris now. It's about Chris.
Yeah.
Starting the timer. I went to the insectarium because, why not? It's cheap. And they have a butterfly garden. But before you walk into the butterfly garden, they tell you that butterflies are very fragile. And I don't know if you guys know this, but butterfly wings are really fragile. So they tell you, look, you're going to feel tempted, but please don't touch the butterflies. The butterflies will land on you. That's okay. The butterflies will touch you. That's okay. But please avoid touching the butterflies. And it was in that moment that I realized why so many strippers have tattoos of butterflies. Makes total sense. I walked by a strip club and there was a promoter outside that said, "Come on in, no cover." And I was just like, I know how strip clubs work. I get it. They're naked. So I don't know if you guys know this, but I have a new very simple definition for dating. Okay, dating is when you turn off the TV, you get off the couch, you get dressed, and you go out long enough to find someone who's comfortable coming back to your house, sitting on the couch, getting undressed and watching TV with you. That's it. That's the whole thing. I was dating a girl. She actually now she drives for Uber, which is great because she loved taking strangers home, and Airbnb is really great because she can have sex with a different guy, but only has to remember one address a week. It's perfect. 1123 Clement Street. I know. I was just there Thursday. How long are you staying? We were in another argument where she accused me of gaslighting. And I took a moment, collected myself, and I told her, that's like not even a real term. She just made it up out of nowhere. It's.
You know how crazy that sounds?
A girl I was dating before that, here's some helpful advice. Okay, I learned my lesson the hard way. If you're ever going to have that conversation, the conversation about previous lovers, I thought it'd be much easier if I started the conversation. So I said, let's both talk about how many men we've slept with in the past. I'll go first. 0. I was dating a girl who said she wanted to be treated like a Disney princess. See, these kids, they grow up watching these movies. Oh my God. She wanted to be treated like a Disney princess. And I didn't have the heart to tell her that despite the way I look and what I'm capable of, I wouldn't kill both of her parents. Like, come on. One, maybe, but 2, that's just an awkward Thanksgiving. So obviously I'm not that great at relationships. I asked my friends for advice. My friends actually who've been married for a long time. I said, well, where did you meet? They said, we met in high school. That advice only works if you're currently enrolled in high school. So now I'm not allowed near any school. And I was just trying, I was having sex with this girl just once, and she did that thing. Look, ladies, if you're watching, don't do it. When we're having sex and you're like, deeper, deeper. I'm just sitting there like, it's a dick, not the Star Wars franchise. It's like, oh, you thought you saw all the dick? Well, there's like 3 more episodes of dick. Not as interesting as the first 3 you got. But if you need more, I've got, I would never be having sex with a girl and yell shallower, shallower, because I mostly meet them on Tinder, and you can't get any more shallow than that, is what I'm saying. I just have a question. Why is it okay? Like, for instance, my friend Dan, he likes big women. He announced to the group of guys we're hanging out with, I like to fuck big girls. And they're like, woo, go you, go you. And then I said, I like to fuck little girls. Should have just said petite. I mean, come on. Petite. Okay. Word usage. Calm down. For a while, I tried to be kinky, but my problem is the girl I was dating kept referencing 50 Shades of Grey, and I thought that was porn for the elderly. I didn't really interest me too much because, you know, they don't trim 50 Shades of Grey. All right. And finally, I don't get it. Look, ladies seem to love guys with new cars. I don't get it. See, he had an older car and it started to make noises that he didn't want to deal with. And he had the choice. I could fix what I know needs repair and increase longevity of this, or I could just trade this thing in for something smaller, younger, that I'm more comfortable bringing to my high school reunion. Ladies, I drive a 95 Volvo is what I'm saying. So, you know. Thank you, guys.
Hey. For Anthony. Hello, we're back. You know, ordinarily, we run well into the next hour with performers, but we've had one of our performers has been on and off the call like 5 times since the show, and she's currently.
I think her neighbor's having internet problems.
If I'd known that, I would have given the guys from the UK a couple extra minutes since they went to all the trouble to stay up late.
Are we using the new 7-inning rule? Is that what this is?
Yeah. That somebody missed out on a no-hitter today because of that. Did you know?
Dang
that?
it! Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And
that person was me. That person was me.
There was a guy who's got some $300 million contract who pitched a whole game with one eye closed just because he needed the challenge.
Good Lord.
Major league level, he needs the challenge of having one eye closed. Otherwise, it's too easy for him. So I hit a home run off him today, I should say, and put a hand over one eye as he was running the bases.
I love baseball.
And ran into the umpire.
And they asked the pitcher afterwards what he thought about that, and he said, "Oh, I think it's great. You know, I think all this bullshit about throwing at a guy the next time he's up, if he does something like that, is bullshit. We shouldn't do that. We shouldn't do that anymore. He's just trying to celebrate because he succeeded at baseball for a minute."
Yes.
And my thinking is, okay, I don't care what you're saying. That guy's getting a ball in the back next time.
He's going down. He's going down.
He may actually throw a knife.
He needs an extra.
I'm just saying it's a revenge-filled game. Always has been, always will be.
And his windows on his 95 Volvo will probably be broken too.
Yeah,
that's right.
or the pitcher could hit him right in the eye and permanently blind him.
Yeah,
whatever.
Oh, that's great. That's the Herb Score model of revenge.
That's Tony Canigliaro, we called it.
Tony Canigliaro, yeah.
Tony Canigliaro got it too.
Yeah.
But Herb Score got hit with a line drive in the eye.
Ouch.
And then everybody said it ruined his career, but then he won 20 games the next season, and then he got out. I don't know. Who cares?
I don't know.
We're talking about baseball, for God's sake.
But you said we finished really early, so everybody gets to go again, right? Isn't that the way it works?
Well, hey, Chip, you should do your A 5 minutes this time.
Or your
By the way, H and I watched some show on that channel, and I watched like 2, maybe 3 episodes of it before I realized that it was such incredible bullshit. that I had to get off. It was some kind of alien invasion show, and they were tracking aliens from all over, and it was from the 80s, and the special effects were totally
dog shit.
totally crap. And the guy who was in charge of the whole thing was that guy that innocuously handsome guy that used to get to be the star of all those shows, like the Robert Urich of the.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
But
yeah.
It wasn't Robert Urich, but it was a guy like that, and you never heard of him again because the show,
Gil something.
the thing of it went like Mark Singer was that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's V. Is it
Star of V.
Yeah,
He
V.
was star of V, and I think he was in the remake of V in some level or other. And,
Well, that you have to keep that
also
going.
he's in the Beastmaster series, and just
Beastmaster.
all of which are on H&I, I'm sure, even though.
I can't get
wouldn't
into I can't get into V, and it's like at night too in my house.
Hello.
Hello.
I wish Richard was here. We could do 5 minutes on teeth. She got a vagina dentata, man. That's
Yeah.
like,
I really want to see this girl chew gum. I tell
she
you that
must
much.
be a Kathy.
Oh my God.
Not very many people can chew gum and spit ping pong balls.
That used to be an expression. She's a real C with teeth. I mean, people used to say,
Yeah,
and they didn't say C, Mike. I'm
they did. They probably used the whole word.
Never,
huh?
never,
Commitment.
never went down never munched a rug that could munch you back. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's just a rule of thumb. Speaking of thumbs, you could lose one down there. What I'm saying, everybody. This was a hell of a show this evening. People,
Is it cold in here or is your vagina chattering? What's going on?
Her dentist said you're going to feel a little prick. Her dentist
that's
spoke, not
her
her.
dentist has a little prick.
That's what I meant. That's
I
where
know
was
what you
going.
meant, Ned. I know what you meant. You can just assume I know what you meant.
It's what you didn't mean.
Talk about cavities.
Oh, are you kidding?
Ooh, Nelly.
Chuck, you're out of your depth here.
Well,
We'll
speaking
we'll
of a
take
ball
look
in the
at that.
back,
Hello.
Uh,
Ball, that's just your favorite song, isn't it? Ball in the Jack.
right?
But anyway, that's neither here nor there. This was a lovely show. And of course, everyone is more than welcome to take off for the night. But we usually sit around. If is there anybody who's new here tonight? No, there isn't. Anyway, we usually
And scared them all away.
we can stick around for a while and chat. We don't have to, but we can. Ned always has something to say. Sorry.
Mike, that's so unfair. Think of what you're doing.
No.
First of all, it's disingenuous.
First of all, I can't help it. I
I
started
know.
introducing Jeffery Burden with a reference to the National Association. What is it?
Yes,
North American
Man-Boy.
Man-Boy Love Association.
I guess that's what it's called. I really don't know.
Yeah, sure you do. Yeah, you guess that's what it's called.
I'm so
That's what it was
glad
called when you
we
sent me the
had
brochure.
this time together.
Mike, I
I'm
just
so
said read
glad
it.
we had
You weren't
this
under any
time
obligation to join.
When I was doing stand-up in New York in the 80s, it was a big thing for the guys to talk about NAMBLA. And
Huge.
once when we were at the Green Kitchen eating dinner, like 3 o'clock in the morning,
Like you do.
some guy talked about calling up. He said he called up the NAMBLA hotline because he was curious. He's curious about it. Again, they have their official offices in New York, and he calls it up. And there's this voice that comes on. You've reached the North American Man-Boy Love Association. Be strong, be brave. We will get back to you as soon as we can.
Oh my God.
And I can't even imagine. I mean, you know what I mean? I just can't.
It seems like a joke.
It seems like a joke, but it's not. They have
No,
a newsletter.
Yeah.
They should just, it's the way I feel writ large about stage parents. This is much worse. But I always felt about stage parents that the way that you cure children getting crippled by their stage parents is have a casting call for something in all the trade papers. And as people show up to audition for it, just take the children away from their parents. And they're better off.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah,
that's-
they're better off somewhere else. And it's the same thing with the NAMBLA thing. It's just like, call them, tell them, make an appointment that you want to come over there and discuss their organization, and it's just arrest everybody when you get there.
Bring the paddy wagon. Yeah.
Yeah, go through the files, find everybody, burn all
They used
the.
to do that. They used to do that. They used to have to collect these big groups of people who are deadbeats with talking tickets in New York.
Yeah.
And they basically tell them that they've won free Yankee tickets.
Right, I remember those.
Oh, that's
really?
great.
Yeah, they
That's
did the same
hilarious.
thing here in DC. They won free Washington football team tickets to catch people that were
God.
that had warrants out for
Yeah.
arrest and stuff like
All
that.
right, and they basically said, "We'll bring the handcuffs. You don't have to bother."